When most people visit Zion, they head straight to Zion Canyon, but I like the peace and quiet of Zion's other districts, and my favorite district is Kolob Terrace. The terrace has waterfalls, gorgeous canyons, and the best hike in all of Zion. Plus, the best part, most people don't even know these places exist. So in this episode, I'm going to walk you through the best stops in Kolob Terrace, so you can plan your trip accordingly. This is, without a doubt, the most underrated district of Zion National Park, and it's packed full of adventure opportunities. But there are a couple things you want to know before you venture into Kolob Terrace. First, there is no potable water in Kolob Terrace. You might think that's okay, I'll just take a filter, but all of Zion's streams are known to have a toxic cyanobacteria. According to park officials, no known filtration methods are effective at reducing toxin levels safe for drinking. This means you'll have to pack your water when you're hiking in Kolob Terrace. The next thing to consider is footwear. The terrace has a few creek trails that require you to hike through the water. A lot of people worry about having proper footwear when they're hiking in the creeks, but the rangers keep it simple by recommending sturdy hiking footwear. This means boots and hiking shoes. I used hiking boots and never had an issue with traction. Plus they were thick, so my feet were protected from the rocks. Personally, I would not enjoy hiking these creek trails with thin river shoes or sandals, but to each their own. One thing you always want to consider before venturing into the terrace is the weather. The canyons in Zion become deadly when flash flooding occurs, so you should always check the weather before hiking, especially if you're hiking trails that follow rivers and creeks, like Right Fork, Subway, and Grapevine. Once you've got your preparations in order, you can head to the terrace. Kolob Terrace Road is the only way in and out of Kolob Terrace. Every stop in the district is accessed from this road. This road is 20 minutes from Springdale, and once you reach the road, it's another 10 minutes to get to the Kolob Terrace entrance. The scenery from the road isn't that great, but the views from the trails are much better. Once you pass the entrance, the first stop is the Right Fork Trailhead. This hike is not meant for beginners. The path can be tough to find and it's easy to get turned around. You don't just show up and hike this trail. You'll need to be well prepared. Right Fork had me fighting through creeks and climbing through brush. The trail begins with a steep descent down a canyon to North Creek. Then you have to cross the creek to access Right Fork. From there, the trail passes in and out of the creek. The path is not well maintained, and I wore shorts, so my shins were shredded from weeds and branches hitting them the entire hike. That said, the trail had some gorgeous areas that just felt epic. Plus, I had these areas all to myself. This is a 12-mile round trip, so it's a long haul, and it's a rough 12 miles. But double falls makes for a great reward at the end of the trail. The Grapevine Trailhead is just up the road from Right Fork. If you want to hike to a waterfall but you don't want to hike 12 miles, Grapevine's a good option. It's still tough, and just like Right Fork, you'll have to take a steep trail down into a canyon, which isn't fun, but once you get to the bottom it levels out. The trail follows North Creek, and you will be forced to enter the creek in a few spots, and one spot was knee deep. After a mile of wading and rock hopping, you'll reach Left Fork Falls. It's a nice little waterfall with an alcove that makes for a great spot to eat lunch. Before we get to the next stop in the terrace, if you're getting value from this video, make sure to give it a like and leave a comment. It's a small thing you can do to help the channel grow. The next stop on Kolob Terrace Road is a big one. It's the Left Fork Trailhead. You'll have to have a permit to even park at this trailhead, and you can only get one if you win a permit to hike the subway. In my opinion, the subway is Zion's most beautiful location, and this is the best hike in the park. Unfortunately, slots are very limited, and permits are tough to get. I made a full walkthrough for the subway, so if you want more information, check out the link in the description. A few miles further up Kolob Terrace Road is the Hot Valley Trailhead. This trail is a 17-mile out and back that is mostly used for camping trips. The trail leads to Kolob Arch, which is one of the best landmarks in the Zion backcountry. But if you're trying to reach Kolob Arch, I recommend using the Laverkin Creek Trail in Kolob Canyons. In my opinion, the scenery is much better. One big thing to know here is that everything past the Hot Valley Trailhead closes in the winter, and it doesn't reopen until the snow melts in the spring, so remember that while you're planning your trip. The fifth stop on Kolob Terrace Road is the Wildcat Canyon Trailhead. This trail passes through meadows with tall grass and small peaks in the distance. The trail even had a little wildlife, and it was pretty peaceful. I hiked it in October and there were only a few other people. A half-mile into the trail, there's a junction. Taking a left leads to Wildcat Canyon and Lava Point. The Wildcat Canyon trail is okay, but I prefer the route to the right. This is the Northgate Peaks Trail. This is a great kid-friendly trail that leads to a lava rock overlook, with a viewpoint towards a rock formation named Guardian Angel. If you're feeling adventurous, you can actually scramble up the surrounding peaks. A couple of them are tough, but they give you a great view back towards Zion Canyon. The final stop in Kolob Terrace is Lava Point Road. This turnoff is 20 miles into the terrace, and it leads to Lava Point. This area sits at an elevation of almost 8,000 feet. Lava Point has a campground and an overlook. And the overlook has another nice view back towards Zion Canyon. But most people come here to use Lava Point as a trailhead for the West Rim Trail. This is a 15-mile trail that stretches from Lava Point to the grotto in Zion Canyon. The West Rim Trail can be done as a camping trip, but I did it as a day hike, and it was a long day. My morning started with a 5 a.m. shuttle from Springdale to the trailhead, so I could get an early start. The trail starts by passing through a few meadows with views of canyons in the distance. It passes landmarks like Potato Hollow and Phantom Valley. I also hiked the West Rim in October, so the fall colors added a little something extra. The trail is mostly downhill, so it's not a hard 15 miles, but it's still 15 miles. Plus it was quiet. I only saw a few people the entire day, at least until the end, when I passed Scout Lookout and Angel's Landing. That stretch of trail is always busy. From there I boarded the shuttle and rode back to my car in Springdale.